What's going on, Pixel Hackers? Christian Lovrecich from PixlFeed here. And in this video, we're going to go over on why your Facebook ad lookalike audiences are not working and how to fix it. But before we get started, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive right in. So, ever since iOS 14, some of you might notice, I hope all of you have noticed that your lookalikes are not working anymore. So basically, what does that mean? Your web events, your pixel-based lookalikes are not working anymore. Why is that? It's because Apple is blocking all of the data in iOS 14. It's at I think it's like acquisition rate, it's at about 70% or something like that. So almost everyone who owns an iPhone, it's already past iOS 14. So obviously the more people that adapt iOS 14, the harder it's gonna be for Facebook to optimize your campaigns because they're not getting all that data back. Apple's blocking it. So how do we fix it? First, we have to understand what's going on and how the Facebook ad ecosystem works. So when you're using web event-based custom audiences, you're relying on the pixel to send that information back to Facebook. Whether it's through the pixel, you can add copy, server side, and server side is going to help a lot, but you gotta remember, they still have to follow the rules that Apple has set in place of what it can be passed over back to Facebook. So what Facebook has been doing in order to combat this is to keep all the data as much as they can inside their own platform, and that's why they're deploying shops. That's why they're pushing really hard on the e-commerce settings for Instagram and Facebook itself. That's why they're pushing the stores. Because if Facebook can see everything that you do, it's easier for them to optimize on that information and take over. So what's working right now? The thing that is working right now, believe it or not, is broad targeting, okay? And what do I mean by that? Broad targeting is going to work because Facebook can literally see everything that people do on their platform. Whatever they type in that box to update their status, whatever picture they upload to the platform, Facebook is keeping track of that. So when you go broad, I mean wide open, Facebook is actually doing the targeting based on the creative that you're using and your ad copy. So if you leave it wide open and you let the algorithm do its work, Facebook is going to optimize based on the information that you're giving it with that creative and that ad copy. It's going to look for those signals that are already inside the platform and try to match those people to it. And why is that working better? It's because when you're selecting a custom audience or a web pixel-based lookalike, you're making it harder on the algorithm to try to find an audience that matches that original custom audience without the signals is there. So when you let the algorithm do perform or do what it's supposed to do based on the targeting that it's seeing and the signals that it can get back from everyone else in the platform, it's just going to perform better. Which brings my second point of what's working right now. This is something that if you've been watching this channel for a while, I talk about this all the time. You should always have interest campaigns going on. Always. Why? Once again, that's fresh data. Facebook is going to optimize on those interests that you're giving it. It's going to look at that pool of people that have shown once, more than once, or once again, what they're into by clicking on a post, by writing an update, by writing a comment on a fan page. Facebook can read all of this and can put it under an interest. That's how you get pulled into an interest. So you should always be bringing new, fresh data back. So what else is working? What else can we do to fix this? Well, Klaviyo, first-party data. What do I mean by first-party data? First-party data is anything that has been given to you straight from the client, straight from the customer. So all your email list, okay? When it's first-party data, you own that data. You have all that information, whether it's name, last name, birthday, occupation, city, phone number, all of that. Guess what? When they opted in to give you that data in your email, there's a disclaimer that you're getting all that data, and there should be a disclaimer on your website under your terms saying that you're going to acquire all that data when they fill out a form with you or when they purchase something from you if you're on Shopify. All the data now you own as a first party. It's first party data because it's given to you as a company. It's given willingly. So you can download all of that data, upload it straight to Facebook, whether it's a list, right? And that's okay, that follows the terms of service. So now you're telling Facebook exactly who you're looking for, and Facebook's gonna go and match that data to other people that are out there. So this is not web pixel-based, because pixel-based data is not always perfect. And now that with iOS 14, not all of it is passing through. So your list is going to be a lot more powerful than just relying on the pixel. Klaviyo has an integration setup where you can sync your audiences from Klaviyo with Facebook, and that data is passed automatically and it updates automatically. You don't have to update it yourself all the time to keep up with it. So that's working really well right now, and it makes sense because, again, it's first-party data. So what's working right now besides the first-party data, wide open targeted and interest campaigns? The other thing that's working right now is, again, I talked about this before, your audiences are shrinking. Your audiences are much smaller. This is probably why you have noticed that your engagement campaigns are not working as well. This is why you probably have noticed that your retargeting campaigns are not working as well, because that data is not passing through. So what can we do in order to combat this? It's all about account simplification. So, instead of running, one campaign with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 single interests, right? You got to grab those interests that are related to each other, right? So, for example, if you're targeting sports people and you're trying to target ESPN, well, if ESPN has 5 different targeting options, instead of doing ESPN, USA, ESPN Brazil, ESPN Europe, you consolidate. You grab all those ESPN interests and consolidate them into one single ad set. When you're doing separate like this, you're making Facebook work harder, right? So now you're making your audiences a lot bigger and making it easier for the algorithm to go for the lower hanging fruit, okay? So another example of that, if you're targeting people who own pets, right? You're gonna make sure you create one ad set with all your competition, like Petco, all those pet stores and stuff like that. Create another ad set for dog breeds, create another ad set for influencers, and keep them all under the same campaign, but make sure your audiences are huge, right? So that's one way to combat that, and to make it easier for the algorithm to go out there and get you those sales that you're looking for. Another thing that's working really well is first-party data. So your engagement audiences with Facebook, right? So instead of you create your audiences based on behavior. So anybody who has engaged with Facebook or with your ad or saved a post, anything like that. Same with Instagram, right? This is inside the platform behavior. So when you're creating lookalikes out of these type of audiences, Facebook has all the data on their end inside the platform. If you have been keeping an eye on things, even though people opt out of iOS tracking, right? Their targeting is still on point. The target on the platform is still on point. And why is that? Because they can see everything you do inside the platform. They have their own browser. If you haven't noticed, when you click on something now, it directs you on an iPhone. It directs you directly to the web browser built inside the platform itself, right? So they're keeping track of everything. So interest targeting, their targeting, it's on point. Facebook is just having a hard time finding that purchasing person, that person that's going to pull the trigger buying something, all that lead. So that's why it's making it so difficult for to start an account from scratch. So the other thing you want to do with lookalikes, with the lookalikes that you create out of this, or your lookalikes that you create out of your Klaviyo campaigns, or your first-party data, any list that you have to make these audiences huge. So that's something that's working right now for me. It's anything 7% and above. And what do I mean by that? So 7% and above, what I mean by that is I grab all my audiences, right? So for example, let's use your Klaviyo audiences as an example. I use anyone who's in my VIP list, right? That has bought, more than once, right? So bought one more item or two or whatever. My whole list, right? And then I use anybody who has clicked on a link in my emails. Again, this is all first-party data. Your whole list is first-party data, right? So you grab this and you create lookalikes, but the way you do it, right? You do 0 to 1, right? 0 to 2, 0 to 3, 0 to 4, and so on and so on and so on, until you create your 7%, because you always want to be testing too, right? But what I know it's working really well right now, it's anything that's 7% and above. And I stack them together. So I do 7% lookalike stack, right? And I stack my VIP list, my whole list, and my clicked, the people that clicked. All 7% on top of each other. And the sweet spot for this, I mean, you can go in here and add whatever other list that you have, but the sweet spot, I wouldn't go for more than 6 audiences total. 6 total audiences. And when you do this, it works really well. And again, make sure to simplify the account. Make sure to simplify everything. Make sure you have one campaign for the top of the funnel with your ad sets right here. Have a middle of the funnel campaign. Consolidation, all the engagement, all the website visitors, view content, engage with everything, all in one audience. And what I will do here is, that's working really well. It's like do lowest cost, do a bid cap, and do a cost cap, and then see which one of the 3 performs better with your engagement audiences, right? And once you see that, grab that and scale it, right? And then the same with your DPA retargeting, if you're doing DPA retargeting, if you're using your catalog, right? Another thing that's working really well, because it's inside Facebook, is to grab the best sellers for your store, right? I know, my handwriting is horrible. Grab the best sellers from your store, create a separate list inside your catalog, and then use those for the top of the funnel. And those are working really well because, it's data that Facebook has inside their ecosystem. Anyway, so I hope this helps you guys. Keep moving forward, keep kicking ass. 4th quarter is just around the corner. If you guys want to keep learning about Facebook ads and digital marketing in general, make sure to click one of the boxes above me, and I will see you guys in the next video.